All right, we are live. It is time for another live watch party. Thank you, everyone, for coming on in. We are getting settled in, coming back, slowly getting into the swing of things. Thank you, everyone, for coming on in. Thank you, everyone, for watching on the replay. We are back, more or less, getting close. Hello. Hi. Lil R exchange. Thank you guys for coming on in. Ghosts exchange. Derek's here. Thank you for coming on in, Derek. It's me. I'm back. It's been a few months since you watched your stream. That's okay. Understandable. The streams were a little sporadic for the past few months. As I was getting ready for the wedding, a lot of times I literally was like doing stuff and would forget. Like, which is a shame. And I may move the streams back to Sunday. Actually, it may make it easier for me to do them, especially because now wife party's usually home Monday nights, and so like, or gets home Monday nights, so it's easier for me. But usually she's out Sunday afternoon, so we may do these Sunday afternoon. We'll see. Welcome to a Cobra Kai Squid Game ending watch party. Yeah, I haven't finished Squid Game yet. But I'm close. I'm on the second to last episode. I'll finish it by tomorrow. Every popular show seems like it's ending. Well, but it's okay. It's good for a show to end. I know it can feel like that, and it does happen, but it's better to show end, when it needs to, rather than go on and on and on. Everyone, we're getting Squid Game USA. I don't know anything about that at the top of my head. I do see Brianna 25, who must have changed her avatar, assuming that's the right one. But thank you for coming in, Brianna. It has been a while. She must have came in because she saw the thumbnail. I put her off. I put her off. And that's if you want Brianna to come into your live streams, just put her off on the thumbnail, and it's like magic. Whoop, there it is. Oh man. So where are we at? Daiho's surviving the rebellion just for him to die in the next game. Well, I mean, that's okay. Like it's the people who died and didn't die, like part of it is then their motivation carries forward. So I didn't have any particular like, oh my god, that's horrible. A lot of people died in the next game, but that's what made it good. I will say, and I haven't finished season 3 yet, so please don't give away the ending. But I'm actually enjoying season 3 more than season 2, because I feel like they're barreling towards the conclusion, and so it's like stuff is really happening. I think it's pretty interesting. Brianna 25, always better to go out on top rather than tank. Yes, I am now a bear, and I saw Ralph. Yeah. She's a bear, but the bear is still smoking, I notice. Gotten a doogie or whatever they call it. Go better to go out on top. And I think that was the wisdom of John, Josh, and Hayden. They knew it was ready. The show was ready to go out, and I think they hit on about the best way to do it. The 15 episodes, a lot of it all being about the Sekai Taikai essentially, but it set it up to where it can end, you get to that final match between Johnny and Sensei Wolf, and it's, it gives Johnny his redemption. So that's definitely just about the best way you can do it. What possible fighting roles would be for the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai and Karate Kid actors apart from the Miyagiverse, like Tanner and Brandon? I mean, it's well, I think people were talking about Tanner for another superhero, and now I forget which one. Um, was it DC or was Marvel? I think like I could see Tanner landing one of the superheroes. I'm not sure which one though. Um, he's very athletic. Of course, Brandon is too. Brandon actually, um, really incredible. Both of them. It really, it's like you say, what roles? It's like, I mean, whatever comes their way, essentially. Um, um, I wonder if they can make action stars. For some reason, I kind of like the idea of Brandon H. Lee. Like, I'd like to see him like in an action movie. Um, I think he could do that. Some sort of like martial arts action, something. Um, I don't know about Tanner. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But definitely something like that. And then obviously Sholo is Blue Beetle, so that's supposed to theoretically continue in the new James Gunn DC universe. So I don't quite know what James Gunn has in mind, so we'll have to wait and see. But those are some major ones. I'm trying to think if Billy Zabka could do something like that too. I mean, theoretically, I just feel like he's such an untapped talent too. Cobra Kai rapper from the 2000s. Watch party. Aye, what's up? What it do? Hope your day is going well for you. Cobra Kai rapper always comes to the stream, drops his beats. You know what I mean. He's hitting it strong, hitting it long. Come on, guys. Let's do it all night long. Ow, ow, ow. Cobra Kai rapper from the 2000s. Thank you for coming on in, my friend. It is the loyalty that I admire and appreciate. It's a mutual relationship. Quit smoking if it good for you. But the avatar will always smoke. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. The avatar will always smoke. He smokes on your behalf. Tenor would be phenomenal. Jason Todd, Robin, Red Hood. I'm sure those are all great because I'm reading that as Robin Hood or Red Riding Hood, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, that's like Robin/Red Hood, and I'm like Robin Hood or Red Riding Hood, and I'm like, well, I don't know about Tenor being Red Riding Hood. Maybe it could be the wolf. That would be cool. But I'm not entirely sure about what that is, but I'm certain Brianna is right about those suggestions. Mary auditioning for Lois Lane a couple years ago. I actually made a video about that or something. Maybe it might have just been a short. But like she didn't actually even audition, or at least she didn't officially audition. The whole thing was kind of stupid. Of people like misinterpreting what happened. Because what happened is there was like a podcast where this guy, like, this entertainment media guy is like talking about so this guy is like an entertainment podcast. And he's talking to this like writer or something who knows like a bunch of people at some of the talent agencies down there. And they were like, they were like talking about who could be cast in the Superman movie. And someone mentioned, well, what about that girl from Cobra Kai? And it's like, maybe. And so what happened is this guy who doesn't really know anyone or know anything, who just like had coffee at Starbucks with a couple people at who work at talent agency. Like they're not even like involved with the film, but like they were just pitching around ideas, and then he was just then on the podcast telling them what they talked about. And so in that becomes Mary audition for Lois Lane, but that's not exactly what happened. She may have, though. I mean, she may have, I don't know, but like the whole thing was just like some people who work at a talent agency threw her name out. Like, and you ever heard that term? Like someone threw your name out, they throw a name out, like, oh, throw a name out. Who are you thinking? And that's what people were doing. And someone threw her name out, so to speak, as a possibility for Lois Lane, but it wasn't even people on the film. Like it wasn't anyone connected to James Gunn or anything. It was literally just like some people who work at one of the talent agencies, like that this writer hangs out with. Like it was so dumb. And people, if you want clicks and views, you really dive into that, lean in. But I don't know. Obviously, they cast who did. I don't even know the girl's name. But whatever. They're all the same guy. Jason Todd was the second Robin. Oh, you mean Robin from Batman? Oh, you're right. That's who they were talking about. And the Joker brainwashed becoming Red Hood after Batman thought he died. Okay, you're right. Okay, Robin from Batman. That's who people were pushing Tanner as. That's not a bad idea. Little R plus would make my fangirl heart sing. Sing for Tanner to take up one of Jensen's roles. Her heart sings. It's the song of a fangirl. The song of love. Mark my words. Sony will make Dallas Miles Morales. Well, that could be. Cobra Kai, Sony TV, has him wearing a spider symbol. Oh, you mean Dallas Dupree? Okay, you're saying Dallas Dupree will be Miles Morales. Okay, sorry, it took me a second, like for somebody to like as a spider in the finale. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't the season 5 finale. He's rocking a spider jacket in episode 10. I mean, certainly true. But I mean, don't think too much about the costuming. I mean, the costuming is from Frank Helmer. Like it's not like studio execs are doing something like that. Maybe Frank Helmer or someone on his team thought that would be cool. But that doesn't necessarily mean about that the studio execs would do that. That said, what you're saying about Dallas being Miles Morales has been talked about. Yeah, I've seen that one. And I guess that's not a bad guess for sure. I mean, if they're gonna do that alternate universe Spider-Man or whatever, but their problem is they were doing it on animation, right? And I don't know. Ninja is Dallas Afro Latino. Is Tom Holland American? I don't know. I don't know. He will be when he marries Zendaya. That's actually funny. Is Tom Holland from Canada? Oh, he's British. No, that's right. Oh, yeah. Okay, Tom Holland's British. That sounds right. He marries Zendaya. Are they engaged? I don't wait, I don't know. They've been together a while. I mean, if I can get married, they can get married. When are Mary and Tanner getting married? Did they set a date yet? I don't know. Um, I got married 5 months, 5 month engagement from the proposal to the wedding. Anyway, Tom Holland is British. Caleb McLaughlin is almost a little old now. I mean, I know he's playing like a 14-year-old or something, but he's actually the oldest of the boys. I don't know. I don't know anything about really Miles Morales. So I can't really speculate much on casting. So but I have heard that before about people wanted Dallas as Miles. They're allegedly engaged finally. Good for them. If they are, who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Good for them. They met on Spider-Man, I guess. Got all caught in each other's web, I guess. It's all sticky for them, you know. His spider sense was tingling when he saw Zendaya, and he's like, I gotta make a move on her. And you know, she loved being rescued by him. Season 6 of Cobra Kai really needs an extended version made to it for its release on DVD. Really fucked up with the final season. Oh, Max, you come in here and say this every time. It was 15 episodes. It was good enough. I don't think an extended version would change anything. So, like, really, what do you think you're gonna get? Like, it just doesn't work like that, you know. There's some people who like to sort of thing. I think Dallas would be a great Nikes. Nikes. And rush through it all. I don't think it was rushed. Oh, Dallas would be a great Miles. Okay, Dallas would be a great Miles. Just curious if Dallas is Latino. I have no knowledge of that, if he is or not, but I am not a Dallas Dupree specialist. Do you like the Spider-Verse films? Do you mean the animated one with him? I haven't seen the animated ones. I did see the what is it? No Way Home? You know, the crossover one with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, which was great. A lot of fun. But I didn't watch the yeah, I didn't watch those animated ones. They did well, but I didn't see, so I don't know. In fact, some people have called them some of the better superhero movies of like the past 5 years, give or take. But yeah, I don't know. The fans leaked everything. Well, the leaks were unfortunate. Max, I will agree with you on this. The leaks were a little out of control. I mean, the whole, what is it, episode 14 leaked? Like, it was on Twitter X for a long time, or like most of the day. And you like reported it to the Sony people, but they took like forever getting stuff down. Like I put something too long, it'll get taken down instantly, but other people could put shit up the whole episode for a whole day, and it's like, ooh, oh well. I don't know, man. I don't know. Still surprised, yeah. Aren't we all? The Grand Queen loves the Spider-Verse, and Miles is her favorite. Then Gwen, then poor Peter. Ooh, that's a shame. Poor Peter. Grease for skinned out. Brianna, who hit it spoiler free. That's actually very impressive. Although I think you were essentially off social media, which is um smart. You know, for those of us who feel somewhat of an obligation to be on social media because, you know, we're teaching, you know, we're spreading our message or whatever the hell, you know, running a channel. You just can't avoid it all. I think most of the storylines wrapped up, Max Kelly. I don't think I don't think there's many unresolved storylines. Um I mean, I think it's easy to kind of sit here uh and like think, oh, they should have had that, or they should have had that. But like you just can't, like, it's, you still gotta like make a show that's like tells a story. It's got a, like a beginning and an end, middle and end. It's got a narrative arc, you know, all that stuff needs to like happen. And you know, it's hard. And so sometimes it's got to be a little bit focused. Do you think Mr. Han will cameo later on with the karate spin-off films? I'm not actually sure what you're referring to. Obviously he was in the recent one that just came out. Um, if that film were to get a sequel, um, he would presumably be in it again. But I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. You know, it's like Karate Kid Legends. You know, I guess it did a little okay, but it wasn't like a major box office hit. Um, Kid Legends. Let's see. Here, look. Let's just look real quick here. Um, Cry Kid Legends. Yeah. 50 million domestic, 50 million international. Don't see the budget for it. You know, 100 million. Listen, back in the 1990s, a movie was considered a big moneymaker if it made 100 million. But, you know, that's not the case anymore. Oof, only 8,000 in Serbia. um 8 million in Mexico. It's not bad, but I think they would need more from Mexico. Yeah, I don't know. It just like it doesn't look like it doesn't look like it made enough for a sequel. A quick search says it made, its budget was 45 million. So it's probably made money. Well, depending on how much they've spent on marketing. They did spend a little bit on marketing, you know. So like it's either like around break even, you know, made its money, you know, it'll be profitable in the long run. Because then they'll sell streaming rights and blah 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 and DVDs to people who just go buy it, whatever. Um but like yeah, I mean, but it's hardly like holy shit, we need to get another one fast, you know. It's not like that. Zitter? Do you pronounce that Zitter? I like the name X Itter. I don't know how to say it. Zitter and Facebook. I was still on YouTube. Rolling as a sub, not a creator. Yeah, yeah. You get comments when you're making videos. It's been almost as a reason about a meeting. Glad I did this time. Great. Thank you for coming in, Robert. It wasn't really a mystery. But you know, in the end, I don't think that big a deal. Because in the end, like Tori is like making money. She's got almost literally a career there out of high school, so she's like in a good spot, so she could take care of her brother. Sato and Kim Sun Young. Well, maybe there is no connection between Sato and Kim Sun Young other than one knows of the other. They also left stuff at the end unresolved with the kids on purpose. They aren't done with those four, I don't think. Well, that's true. You know, they give everyone happy endings, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the end. Specifically, like I always say, like Miguel and Sam, like I consider that kind of like the fake happy ending because it's like, okay, he comes and he visits Okinawa with her, and that makes sense. That's fine. It's like, oh, it's happy, but like, okay, he's going to spend a week with her, 2 weeks with her, and then he's going to fly back to Stanford, and they'll be like, however, thousands of miles apart, you know, 6,000 miles apart or whatever the hell it is, you know. So it's like, yeah, it's like a happy ending, but it's like a fake happy ending because that's not going to last. So that's like one note I would have or like point. Like the Miguel and Sam like relationship ending was like kind of like a fake because they're only going to be together. And having just come back from a honeymoon, you want it to last forever, but it just doesn't. Some point you have to get back to life. Kenny didn't have any lines in part 3. That is correct. You're correct, Max. Cobra Kai with Johnny and Carmen engaged. Johnny and Daniel hugging. You're the best friend ever. So you're the best friend I ever had. You really were dead set on that. You're the best friend I ever had. You pretty good too. Oh boy. Really dead set on that ending. I mean, he handed Daniel the trophy and said, "You're all right, LaRusso." Like how good is that? Like that's like, you know what's funny is that particular ending, like, it's not something I ever imagined. And I'm someone, you know, I've get asked many times, as you know, like, all right, well, I actually said it backwards. Daniel hands him the trophy and says, "You're all right, Lawrence." You know, like I had been asked, "What do you think it would end?" many times, and I talked about stuff at like the All Valley Arena. You know, like, oh, it'll be at the All Valley Arena or something, turning off the lights. But like this particular ending, for what it's worth, and I guess it's I should note, I like didn't think really hard. I wasn't trying to super predict like the ending of the show, but like This is a really nice wrap up, I think. Where, let's see. Johnny and Mr. Han will mix. I think they get along. Maybe even better than Daniel did. Robin Lynn is here. Robin Lynn. Robin Lynn, our resident Canadian. Cobra Kai should have ended with season 5. Oh. Saw something on Facebook. The Netflix greenlit a Miyagi prequel. Odds are it isn't true. Well, certainly they haven't announced anything. It depends on like what you saw. People like to say things that aren't true, or like what I should say is like what people do is they take their own theories. Like, oh, I think there'll be a Miyagi prequel, which I think is a pretty good theory because it's likely to happen. But they take their own theory, but instead of just saying like, oh, I think we're going to get a Miyagi prequel, they say it in the way that like it's already happening. Like, so they'll say Miyagi prequels confirmed coming out next year or something. like, but they don't actually know that. They just take what they think will happen and say it as if it's already happened. It comes from a place of like insecurity. Like they want people to take them seriously. Because on the internet, it's very easy to be overlooked. So but if they say it like they have some sort of knowledge that it's real, you get taken more seriously. Oh shit. Even though they don't know that. But that said, in that particular case, like I think there will be a Miyagi prequel. I just don't know when they're announcing it or whatever. Shitter like Sholo. Shit. I didn't even think of that. It actually kind of works. I like that. The problem is, I don't even know, like people would always say, oh, it's so toxic and stuff and whatever. I feel like more now it's so much engagement bait, where it's just a lot of lame shit. It's not even about like the hate it or whatever, the toxicity. It's just like lame shit. It's the real problem now. Did you hear the recent news about the spinoff? Okay, so here's wildly. What do you guys are going to tell me like something was announced? Like nothing was announced. Stuff may have leaked. Or people may be talking, but I'm certain nothing has been announced. You believe they brought Jackie Chan back? They'll do the same for Hilary Swank. Yeah, I talked a little bit about this. Or I guess it was in the member stream. We would have loved to have you. We had our member stream once a month. Channel members and I hang out and we talk it all. But Hilary Swank is like her own person, and she may have her own thoughts or ideas about Julie Pierce and what she would want if she were to reprise the role. And some of that might have been what came up in regards to like season 6 and her appearing or ultimately not appearing. So not saying it's impossible, but maybe. I haven't seen the ending of Squid Game yet. So I'm on season 3. I got the last episode and a half. So please no spoilers. I will say I'm enjoying Squid Game 3. I'm enjoying season 3 of Squid Game a lot. I think it's really good. So I'm curious to see how it'll end, and I'll try to get some videos on it. Harry is blamed for Crease with the first 5 seasons. Stranger Things is the last piece of the puzzle. What do you think of it, Watch Party? And what will you do next after? We'll see what comes next. Definitely Stranger Things at the end of this year will be big. Kenny and Devin together. Yeah, there was almost a little flirting. Devin's like 2 years older than him. If you consider that a thing. I don't know. You think they're going to get married in later shows? Well, maybe. If they continue something in the future, maybe. Do you think Harold Kumar's new movie automatically means any Cobra Kai content must be pushed off? No. So when they made that announcement, it is true they just announced the plan to do a movie, right? They don't even have a script yet. They're going to write the script. Apparently, Josh is joining. According to the article, Josh is joining the writing this time. But it just depends. It could mean Cobra Kai content is spin off, but it'll definitely depend on how they decide, to structure their time and such. I think John and Hayden would direct it. But my guess is, seeing as how they just made an announcement and don't really have anything done yet, like if that movie, it goes quick, like it probably still wouldn't be in production until next year. So, but that could mean the spinoff doesn't happen until later, or John and Hayden aren't as involved in like the first season of the spinoff. I don't know. Season 6 ending was absolutely nailed on and perfect. Who's saying season 6 didn't stick the landing? Are you mad? I mostly agree with you, Apollo. I think they stuck the landing. I think it was very good. They didn't ignore that those guys were his students too. They even had a whole episode with all of them. In the end, though, it was just Johnny's story, and they had to focus on him. They didn't have infinity budget. All they needed to do was not have Terry win. That was it. So I'm not happy. So the 70 million other people are. It's life. Terry Silver? How did Terry Silver win? Did I miss something? He blew up. I wonder between Obliterated, Harold and Kumar, and Cobra, which they're most passionate about. They would say they were passionate about each one while they're doing it. They would say they're most passionate about the one they're doing at the moment. That's probably like the most of an answer you would get. Unfortunately, there won't be an Obliterated season 2, so that passion is in the past. Aren't they doing? There is a Ferris Bueller project. Last it was announced they had a director was attached. I forget who it was, but that's just creeping along in pre-production as movies do. Who knows? Season 6 released on DVD by December 2025. I don't think so. It may not be till February. If they do a Miyagi prequel, I hope they don't connect with the Han family. I don't think they would. The Karate Kid Legends kind of retconned Karate Kid 2. If Brianna saw it, I would almost want to be in the theater with seeing it with Brianna just to hear what she yells at the screen. Um, yeah, there's like some kind of irksome retcons that they try to force it in. And I knew they were going to go to Karate Kid 2. I knew they were going to do that and use that as their way in. But for the health of Brianna, I don't think she should watch that movie, even though I'm curious to see what she would be yelling at the screen. But I don't think the big three have any plans of introducing Mr. Han. Just consider it a different universe or whatever. The chosen silver fight from season 5 has become forgotten after season 6, and season 5 in general feels filler now. I really enjoyed it back in 2022. Yeah, I did too. And so we even did like Peter and I on Cobra Kai Companion. We're doing like a top 10 episodes or something. And I even talked about how season 5 was like really, really good at the time. But like when season 6 comes out, it could make season 5 worse in retrospect, because at the time, season 5 was like the end of the show. It was our last season. But then season 6 sort of takes it back a little. I get that, but I think like season 5 works as a great ending for especially Daniel. It gives him his triumphs. And then season 6, Johnny gets his triumphs. You know, Johnny has triumphs too, and it's reversed. But that season 5, like Daniel fighting Terry Silver, kicking his butt, you know, ending with the crane kick. I mean, come on. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. Like, let's be real. Like, here we go. Shoot. Boom. Look, there we go. How's that? Like that was like really good. And so that's like the conclusion for Daniel. And then, you know, and then season 6, we get that kind of wrap up conclusion for Johnny. But that shit was good. Michael Jackson Videos says, not going to lie, my only gripe with Cobra Kai is they would drop subtle foreshadowing for something from only for it not to happen. Maybe, but you know, there's only so much time and money, and sometimes not everything is intended to be foreshadowing. Oh, John told you. John told me. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I know. A TikTok or Daniel, you must mean Ralph, confirming a Cobra Kai movie in 2 years was probably a joke. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I like the Sensei Wolf spinoff idea that apparently was pitched by Zach Robinson. About Julie, we also theorized during the meeting that she didn't want another bad reaction to her character. That's possible. Yeah. You know, we don't really know what Hilary Swank is thinking. We do know, you know, she was offered, but was kind of not keen on it. After Silver, Kreese, and de Guzman died in an explosion, why was it ignored? I figured they'd be wondering where Silver is only since they Wolf asked. I think it just like had happened, and people actually didn't know where Silver was. Like maybe they didn't actually know he was running off to his yacht. You know, because it's like, you know, the next day or something, and they're just, you know, word hadn't gotten around. They hadn't identified who it was and stuff yet. So, I mean, I think that's what they're going with, and I'm willing to accept it. Like, Silver or Wolf knows maybe Silver's sick, so he doesn't show up. So he doesn't, he's like, okay, whatever. He's not here. Fine. First, other than Hillary herself, who didn't ranch Julie Pierce back. Yeah, you probably were. I have not seen F1 yet. I've heard good things about it. They're planning a crossover with Days of Thunder. I'm unaware of that. I did see actually Tom Cruise talked about F1 and was like even pitching it. He posted on X, Twitter, or Shitter, as Brianna says. Has anyone seen Karate Kid Legends? Yeah, I saw it. I have a video on it. He's messed up everything with the franchise. Yeah, except that's not going to happen because they make money by leasing it to the streaming services. Like, why would they do that? Because they were going to make. I'll tell you why. Because they can make $100 million at the box office from people who wanted to see that. That's why. Why do you do it? If they don't do it, they don't make $100 million at the box office. That's basically your answer. Watch Party's review of it is excellent. Of course, the movie sounds hideous. Yeah. It's true. It's true. The most I can say is I will, and I say this in the review, is like, it's not like the worst movie you'll ever see or anything. It's not just like a freaking train wreck from scene to scene or something like that. Like, I mean, I think like the talent or the director who made it is at least, he's fairly talented. He has some successes behind him. He understands the importance of like keeping the movie going, don't letting it get boring or something. Like it'll generally keep your attention, and you can watch it. And that's why some people like it. Oh, I really liked it. I mean, read the comments. I have people, no, you're dead wrong. The movie was a lot of fun. Okay. I mean, it's fine. Okay. But if you ever try to like apply your brain to any of it or something, or like, engage with it like intellectually or just any thing analysis or whatever, it's just like, oh my God. Like, but I mean, so that's my like attempt to say something positive about it. I'm not here to just be like a hater to hate or something. I think, most of you guys who are here, that. But it's certainly not a good movie, and a respectable movie that will stand the test of time. It's not. You believe her reps and agents forced her not to do it. She sent a review. No one called her, and she had interest. But remember, this is from her reps, and her reps can be sleazy. Well, her reps and agents do what she tells them. So if she tells them, don't bother, I'm not interested, I don't want to do it, then they don't pass on that people reached out. But then they didn't, so no one called her, but that's because she told the reps, her agents, not to let her know when they call. But we know John, Josh, and Hayden at some point, did reach out to her people. But that also means like she put the kibosh on it, like without even hearing them out. So, whatever it is, maybe her instincts are similar to Brianna's, honestly, and maybe she thought, it's actually better if I'm not in it. And you know what? It was really good. So maybe she and Brianna are right about that, actually. In which case, I guess I have to respect that. Ask ChatGPT to improve the ending. Every suggestion made it worse. Well, that's your problem. You asked ChatGPT. Come on. Cobra Kai is no world why Miyagi-Do is barely a memory. Why would I ever like that? Well, I don't think that's 100%. I mean, like Miyagi-Do was at the Sekai Taikai, so they got exposure. They're one of the top dojos in the world, so much that the marketing rep signed Robbie, even though I think Robbie actually legitimately had a bad tournament. He had a bad Sekai Taikai. They signed him anyway as being the captain for Miyagi-Do. So, Robbie got signed. So if Miyagi-Do is well known enough to get Robbie an endorsement deal, and then ultimately it ends with Johnny embracing Miyagi-Do as the co-training, with Johnny and Daniel together. And I think the end result is that they train as two dojos, because the closing narration has Johnny say, "That's why you're going to learn from the greatest sensei I know. You're going to study Miyagi-Do with Sensei Daniel LaRusso," or however exactly the line is. But wish Bobby and Jimmy could have been with Johnny when he won it all. I expect they might have been. Oh yeah, I'm almost 100% sure. They said they would have liked to do more cameos. But it was literally just about time and money. And I 100% think, like, I think they might have had like Bobby and Jimmy watching the fight on TV together, and all sorts of others. Yeah. Moving on, didn't look like any other Cobra Kai characters were in it. That is correct. There's a cameo with Johnny at the very end. It's not ironically, it's actually the best scene in the movie. Is the best scene in the movie is the one with Johnny. If they do a film with Hillary Swank, she should have a relationship with Tori. They're planning that for seasons. Yeah, I mean, ever since season 2, when Tori showed up, I was always like, yeah, I was always like, yeah, like maybe there could be something with her and Julie Pierce. Even really before I knew Julie Pierce, I must have knew something. I don't know, maybe I didn't, but yeah. 1985. I'm not sure what Brianna's remarking to, except the Karate Kid Legends puts Karate Kid 2 at 1986. It's wrong. That's your first retcon out of the gate, or just continuity here. Chosen. So yeah, I mean, I haven't forgotten it. How many Zara followers Zara lost? Yeah, we never know. Karate Kid, or I mean, Cobra Kai is a successor series that follows after the Cobra Kai canon. Karate Kid 2 and Karate Kid 4 would be where they would focus on drawing material from. Well, maybe. And their friendship went from "I will literally die for you" to "I hate the guy who saved my life," and beat each other up for no reason at all in a matter of days. Yeah, that's the back and forth on um um well, yeah, it's not the best. That I agree with. Season 5 is Daniel's ending. Season 6, Johnny's ending. Crease and Silver got the James Bond villain death, even though most Silver fans hated it. It fit his character perfectly. In a way, yeah. John, you goober. Do you rate Cobra Kai season 3 the lowest because you felt it was too dramatic, in your opinion? Um, there's a lot that's really good about season 3. But for some reason I feel like the cohesion isn't as strong. And I always felt like the end fight got tacked on. It's got a few things, that are like a little embarrassing if you look closely. I mean, I'm talking about the house fight. Um, I feel like Miguel's recovery is lost a little bit from the events of really season 4, but ultimately even season 5, um, because like his recovery is all about in the second half he's talking about like he's got to get back to the All Valley and prove he can win again, and he doesn't. And so like his quest to get back, it's kind of not as strong knowing where it ends up, even though he ends up winning the Sakai Taikai. So um some of the Vietnam stuff wasn't my favorite. Like it especially just confused me the first time I watched it, and I think they could have done a few other things to make it a little more clear. The other one I don't think likes me anymore. Uh-oh. Season 4 was the end of Hawk's arc, and season 5 was the end of Sam's. I felt like the Rays took them out of the spotlight in the final season. There's a little truth to that. Sam was the one that didn't quite have something worth fighting for, which she herself kind of acknowledged, um, which led to sort of her conclusion withdrawing from the fight. So I think it was a good end. Some people like wanted Sam to win it all, but I'm not upset with the way it ended. Which brawl was the best season? The school fight, house fight, dojo brawl in Barcelona. Oof, I may still say the school fight. Um, then maybe the brawl in Barcelona. It's kind of hard to rank them. To be season 5, the dojo in Terry's house. Terry's house fight. Yeah, that's actually a good one too. Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to place them. I may even have to think about that more. Um, we'll see if Peter and I do something like that. We rank the brawls. Sensei Wolf Iron Dragon spinoff is more interesting than spinoff the characters. I mean, I admit I kind of like the idea. There was an article. I mean, it was mostly like a fan idea from Zach Robinson, but like, yeah, you feel like there could be more there. There could be more with like Zara. As is pointed out, Zara is like the one character Like she got her comeuppance, but she didn't make good or anything. She's still out there. Johnny chosen in Barnes at Silver's home. Yeah. I'm not surprised the movie did well. Despite it's not perfect, but I had fun. Yeah, you can have fun. It I wouldn't quite say it did well. Like maybe it made a little money, but certainly not a lot. Yeah, Brianna's right. They're not going to change anything. Max has been saying they need to change it, but it's done. What's done is done. People ask too much from movies nowadays. What you see is what you get. Um, I don't necessarily know if that's true. I don't think people ask more from movies now than they used to. Legends will be forgotten in about 4 months. Maybe. We'll see. Audiences have the right for ask for intelligent storytelling. Yes, I agree. I agree. That's what I was saying. Like I don't think we ask more now than people did. In 1984 when the first one came out. It's not like people are so demanding now. Yeah, I disagree. Introduce you to fanfic. That's true. That's true. They didn't write every word of all 6 years. That's true. I do think they're very good writers too. I agree with Brianna. ChatGPT said Kreese should not have died without Johnny knowing, which I disagree because while the point is Johnny moved past Kreese, Kreese was the one still trapped in the past. Yeah, I like that people are asking ChatGPT like contributing it. They told the story they wanted to tell. It's not their fault. I thought they were telling a different story. It's mine. They're all phenomenal writers, all of them. Yeah, that's well said. I mean, it is the story they wanted to tell. I think it's objectively a good story. Sometimes as especially like in a show, season to season, or it could be a movie series or something. You think the show or story is going to go a certain way, and then sometimes it doesn't always go that way, or it goes something different. Um, and sometimes we can feel disappointed from that, like, oh, I really thought such was going to happen, and then it didn't happen, and that is kind of almost upsetting, or like it's like what the hell. Um, but like I think if you can ultimately look at it objectively and judge a show for what it is, not for what you wanted it to be. That's actually a quote from Roger Ebert. Essentially, Roger Ebert always said you have to judge a movie, you know, based on what the movie is trying to do, what the movie is, not what you think the movie should do. So you shouldn't judge it on what you think the movie should do, or in this case, what the show should do. You should judge it on what it does, what it wants to be, and how well does it accomplish that. This show, season 6, was ultimately wanted to be about the Sakai Kai, you know, taking the karate to the world stage, and then ultimately concluding the stories for the characters, and Johnny's redemption, beating Sensei Wolf. That's what the show wanted to do. They made it seem like Johnny was Crease's. No, they made it clear Johnny was a special student at Crease. Um, Never said he was his only student, but Crease had a special connection to Johnny. You thought Daniel was about to get stabbed. Oof, that's rough. Oh, you thought something happened to Daniel when you saw that preview? I remember that preview. That was something. They believe they were going to get Julie Pierce because the way it was set up, they wanted Kim down to fight Julie. So according to them, what they said is when they were doing season 5, they knew like Hilary Swank was at least cool to the idea. Like she wasn't really big on returning, like some other people. And they thought of it, but they weren't sure they were going to get her. And by the time it got to season 6, it had more or less been made clear to them that Hilary Swank wasn't interested in returning. So it was like it was an idea, but like it was never really explored. Season 3 wobbled out of the gate. They downplayed High School Hellscape so far. Blah, what would have happened? Maybe, yeah. Child cast. Yeah, they did. Would you want a successor series to take place away from the Valley? Possibly, but not necessarily. If we get the Valley in the 1950s or something with a young Miyagi, I may be into that. Stranger Things off-canon crossover. How would you want the story to go? That is something like that's just going to be wild. Crazy team ups. What do you have to say all this about Johnny's old game? You're on them. You know, ultimately at that point, Kreese only cared about Johnny, who was his special student, and maybe he cared about like Cobra Kai and getting Cobra Kai worldwide. Those are the things he cared about. Um, you talk to a teacher about a student they taught 30 years ago. I mean, maybe they genuinely would hope for the best for him. It's not like they would hate him or something, but ultimately Kreese was focused on his present. Kreese was fixated on Johnny. Yeah, I don't think the others mattered to him in high school, so it doesn't bother me. Yeah, that's Brianna's right. I mean, it's just Kreese was fixated on Johnny. There's two things. Johnny and taking Cobra Kai back. There's a Nintendo hack where you play as Johnny. I did not know that. Barn spinoff? Sure. I bet Sean Cannon wants that too. What's good? Watch party. Thank you for coming on in, Orc Sonic. What I love about Sam in the final season is her friendship with Tori. Yeah. Other aspects were great. Robbie Tori relationship, Miguel Tori winning. Worst part of it was Zara. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Episode 3 of season 6, that with this is one of Peter's favorite episodes. He really loved it. I thought it was great too. And then episode 12, where they're training at the All Valley Arena, and stuff. This is really good stuff. There's a lot. You go into knowing your cast are all assholes and make your audience fall in love with them anyway. It's actually kind of brilliant, and now I hope they do. A Sonic fan in the Sonic fandom, a lot of people say can't judge a game product that hasn't been released yet. But it'll lead up to a game. How do you respond to that? Um, I think you can judge a little bit. And I think that's not true because we all do that, right? We all see movie trailers, TV trailers, or trailers for video games, and yeah, you make a judgment on that. Your judgment may not be accurate, and you can certainly change your judgment. But I mean, you make whether you even realize it or not, you're making the judgment. I'm going to see that movie, or I'm just going to skip that movie, or I'm going to laugh at someone who sees that movie, or I'm going to laugh at people who don't see the movie because like what the hell are they thinking? We make those judgments on trailers. Like everyone does it. You certainly sometimes maybe you want to withhold judgment because we all also know trailers don't cover everything. Sometimes good trailers make bad movies, and bad trailers can make good movies. Um, so you certainly can judge a movie because you do, whether you think you do or not. Like the people who say you can't, they're kind of just trying to be high and mighty online, which is like a thing. Um, if I think a trailer sucks and I don't see it, it's fine. If you think the movie's great, maybe you can convince me after you saw it. He's like, no, 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 no. I saw the movie. Like I saw it or I played the game, whatever. It doesn't matter. I played the game and like the trailer doesn't do it justice, right? Like you ever have someone say that to you? No, 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 no. The trailer was like, didn't do it justice. It's way better than you think from the trailer. I know you thought the trailer sucked. See the movie. Trust me on this. Play the game. Trust me on this. Right. So, it's fair. You can always change your, opinion. But you certainly can make a judgment. Bye bye, Eddie. Dinner is ready. Sounds good. I hope you had something good. A spinoff of the bad guys. Some concept you don't see every day. Yeah. What caused the uptick in Miguel hate as the show reached season 5? I don't recall any uptick in Miguel hate. Sometimes like people say stuff and like I have no idea where you people are. Like I didn't have any Miguel hate. Like I was doing my videos. I was with Peter on Cobra Kai Companion. I don't remember any Miguel hate. Sometimes we were a little disappointed in the story. Like I wanted his Mexico story arc to be more. I was very disappointed in it, to be honest with you, but it's not Miguel hate. So I honestly, I don't even know what you're saying. I think sometimes like shit can be on Reddit, TikTok. I don't know where people are posting stuff, and it just gets a little like you just get caught up in a little loop or something. Like I assure you, Orksonic, yeah, that the mass fandom had no Miguel hate. It's season 5 or 6, so don't worry about it. Going back to the incident of the con. Oh God, no publicity stunt. Random question. You hear they're doing a Spaceball movie in 2 years? The search for more money. I'm hoping it's good and that's the case. My sister sent me something while I was on my honeymoon about that. like I don't know if you saw. It's like I was on my honeymoon. I said to my wife, "Hold on, honey. There's going to be a Spaceballs movie." It's about time. Maybe I'll expand on that more, but yeah. How far behind is Watch Party here? Is the stream almost ending? No, I got to catch up. Iron Dragon spinoff with Wolf. Hold on. Do I feel like I got to catch up a little bit here? CGI, yeah, Rob Garrison. There was plans of that, but they just couldn't happen. Oh, I haven't been this far behind in chat in a while. Thank you guys for being out here. I'm going to try to season 6 episodes 6 through 10 were amazing. The only thing I would have liked to be different was disappearing, reappearing friendships. Love the resolution though. Fair enough. That was good. And the Miyagi stuff again. This is me rewriting Mr. A. It all was always going to piss me off. Absolutely no way around that. Larry B. Scott back during the shows that they didn't. The Forgotten Lost Cobra. It's just hard to get everyone. I'm such a Quan stan, but I'm starting to think introducing Korean students now as Kim was a mistake. Chinese Cobra Kai should have appeared much earlier. Take the duck's name. Yeah, I don't know. That's hard. You're like rewriting the whole thing, and it's like the structure is like the way it is. Should have at least shown Kreese reunite with them all. Oh my god. Okay. Hey, remember when you thought that one episode of Cobra Kai season 0 was going to be titled Toxico, and Hayden said that was wrong? I'm going to find out what was that hidden word was. Oh yeah, what the hell was that? I actually looked into it, and I never knew. At some point after season 3 came back, I went back to it and tried. I forget. I'd have to look back at those videos because that was like based off something, but like I don't remember, because I remember comparing it with what the real answers were. Report back what you find. And I was still like baffled because like I compared like what I knew the titles were after it came out, and like it still didn't match up, so it had to be like some placeholder or abbreviation or something. Cobra Kai rappers heading out. Thank you, man. Thank you. I definitely see Spinoff with Stingray. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Naked Gun reboot. Wife party said to me, the next movie we see is the Naked Gun. And he's got a movie. I don't know about the other movie with Sydney Sweeney, but we're probably going to see the Naked Gun movie in the theater for sure. There are so many hoops. AI, yeah. First letter was actually an L, not a T. Can't be an episode title. Yeah, that because it is still 6 letters long. Because I looked back at it after I knew what the titles were, and nothing made sense. And I forget. I eventually gave up. But good luck on it. Tumblr wasn't up in arms about there being any Miguel hate, and it would have been. Yeah, I'm sure. Sometimes you'll just see one or two things and mistake it for like a massive movement or something. What do you think of critic culture? I always hear you should always make your own opinions, sure, and not be too reliant. I mean, you can be relying on critics as much as you want, or you have critics you particularly trust. Maybe is a better way to do it. You know. But if you find if movies fresh on Rotten Tomatoes and you always like those movies, then go ahead and rely on it. If you find it doesn't speak to you, then don't. Either find a critic you agree with, or just ignore them completely. Just watch a trailer and decide for yourself. Like I think critics serve a role. And it's been diluted somewhat in recent years. I feel like, well, I don't want to get into it, but ultimately either find one or some that you like, or, just say, I'm never going to listen to them. You're going to write a letter. Go ahead. Miguel's father should have more involved. Yeah, I that's something I just felt like was kind of like a letdown. Doing a petition. Max Kelly, you would have way more luck if you put forward, $20 million for the reshoots. A letter writing campaign is probably not going to do it. $20 million, you may at least get people to listen to you. You get put up $20 million for the reshoots. If that's what you're going to need. A petition's probably not going to do it. 20 million may work. They'll at least they'll listen to you. Hector's storyline was wasted. I should have been more than 2-3 episodes. Yeah, it was 2 episodes. That was one of my complaints of like the series overall was I felt like, and I feel like it hurt Miguel's story back in season 4 because it was like he quit the All Valley, he left, and it's like. This is we knew Miguel was going to get everything. He was the new Daniel. True, from the beginning, it was like, what if Daniel was in Cobra Kai? That was Miguel. The difference was the other kids got everything too, and they all earned it. Yeah, very well said. Robbie needs a win, but maybe actually he doesn't need a win. That's like a fan thing. But you can take second and do well. You don't have a computer to match the font sizes. Yeah, that's tricky. He has a model. He has a woman he loves at his side. And by the way, that woman is Tori. Healthy. He has a brother and a sister. If you ask Robbie, he'd say he got everything. I agree. And if you were a guy and you were dating Tori, you would be happy too. Sydney Sweeney, a Cobra Kai spinoff. She was in the Karate Kid ripoff with Cynthia Rothrock. Worked with Martin Cove. Paul Hauser. Maybe. Kyler. He's a cool guy, but he's not an asshole. Robbie will need to produce on tour. Not just guys, she says. True. Okay. We caught up one of our more active live streams in a while. Hope he wins the next tournament he's in. Yeah, for sure. All right. I should probably get to bed. I think my wife's asleep. She may be asleep on the couch. Married man now. Thank you everyone for coming on in. Why would that be censored anyway? I have no idea. By the way, Joaquin, I really appreciate that. Go for it, because I looked into it too, and I didn't know what it was, and it was done. So I was just like, I'll just leave it into the memory. If I think about it, I'll look back on it. So anyway, I'm gonna try and finish Squid Game. Put a review of season 3. I wanted to get some of season 2, but if you recall, it came out on Christmas Day, and I got engaged the day before, and I was just kind of like busy the past 5-6 months. It's just like I didn't get anything. Thoughts on Pixar? I haven't seen anything Pixar. Well, no, wait, actually, I take that back. Pixar, the Inside Out, or what? Not Inside. What? Yeah, what is it? The one that came out with the girl. Is it what the hell is the Yeah, Inside Out 2. Yeah, okay, Inside Out 2 was actually pretty good. Surprisingly good. So I saw that on a date with my then girlfriend. How about that? We saw Inside Out on a date. Um that was pretty good actually. So but I haven't seen most Pixar stuff, so I think you need to see if you can find other times the entire daily was shown like that to see what's normally in that slot. If anything, I think that's where you got stuck. You're probably right. Yeah, because you don't see what it would be. That's actually a good advice. I have to go back and find it. Maybe if I got time. Um, but yeah, that's a good advice. I maybe we'll just ask. I could probably just ask John now or something. That's like another idea. Anyway, thank you all. I love you all. Um seriously, it's great to have like come in and just we're still talking Cobra Kai. We'll move on. I'll get Squid Game stuff because I do want to talk about that and I have wanted to so for a while. Um he might tell you. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's a secret anymore, so we can let it out. Hayden never will. Yeah, Hayden will just throw me off on another rabbit hole. You don't even want to ask him. What will your new content be? We'll get something on Squid Game. Like I said, I wanted to talk about it actually back in like January, and I didn't get to it. But I think that I am enjoying season 3. I recommend it. If you like that, you can be violent. I get it. It's not for everyone, but we'll do that and then we'll look from there. All right, thank you everyone. I love you all. May stream on Sunday. We'll see. The stream may pop up on Sunday. So just be ready for that if it does. And have a great day. I'll see you at the next watch party. Bye bye.